What's going on, you guys? My name is Zach Hartley, and in this video we're going to talk about how to buy Bitcoin in your tax-free savings account. Here is everything you need to know. Let's go. Okay, so before we get into the steps here, let's just take a quick look at the Bitcoin chart and why you may want to consider buying Bitcoin. When I look at the stock chart, what I see is some pretty major resistance right around the $60,000 level, but you can also see a couple of consecutive higher lows. The stock is continually bouncing off this trend line right here, and it looks like we have an ascending wedge pattern. Some people call it a bull flag, but basically what this is showing me is that the price is trying to move higher. It's got some resistance at 60,000, and as we get to the end of this triangle, it is either going to break through 60,000 or it is going to get rejected and it's going to fall down to one of these support levels. And so why you may want to buy Bitcoin is if it breaks through $60,000, it's probably going to shoot a whole lot higher, and I think there's a big opportunity there. So we will have to see what unfolds there, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on because we are getting to the end of this pattern, which means we're probably going to see something happen pretty soon. Now, your tax-free savings account, that is the account that we're going to focus on for this video, but you can pretty much apply the exact same rules to your RRSP or any other type of Canadian account that you have. This video will apply to pretty much everything. Now, your tax-free savings account just in general allows you to invest your money and not pay capital gains tax. What I mean by that is if you invest in Apple at $100 and then you go to sell at $200 in a regular account, you're gonna have to pay some tax on that profit. If you had made the same investment in a tax-free savings account, you would have had absolutely zero taxes to pay if you decide to sell that security. And so they are an absolutely great account, a huge advantage, especially for young investors looking to get into the market and buy growth stocks. This is where you should be starting out, and they work by giving you a specific amount per year that you can invest. And so in the year of 2021, it was $6,000 here in Canada, meaning that this year every single person across Canada with a TFSA can invest $6,000 into the market, and if 20 years from now they decide to pull it out and it's worth $100,000, they will pay absolutely zero tax on that. That's what the advantage of this account is. Now, if you turned 18 before the year 2009, your maximum amount that you can contribute to your tax-free savings account is $75,500. If you want any more information about this particular account and some of the rules about it when it comes to day trading and investing, definitely check out my video on my channel. Just search it up. There's lots of great resources there. Now, why do you need to worry about Bitcoin, and why is it so difficult to buy Bitcoin, and what is the big issue with holding Bitcoin? Well, the big thing is taxes. It's very difficult to track Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. A lot of people use it to hide their money from the government, and the government knows that, and they want to come after you, and they want to tax the capital gains on your Bitcoin just like it was a stock or any other security. And so the problem here is that, let's say you want to be a good citizen and you even wanted to report those gains. Well, the platforms that you use to track those trades and track those investments usually don't give you the information that you need come tax time. And so it's a very messy situation where the government's trying to crack down on it, but it's a tricky system to crack. However, let's say you've got a decent sized portfolio, it might not be worth it for you to invest in Bitcoin and risk an audit a couple years down the road and have the government come in and look at all your files and say, what the heck were you doing with Bitcoin here? So there's a couple different issues around it, and if you just want to play by the rules and you want to take advantage of the current system, that's what this video is about. That's what I want to try and teach you here. And so how do you buy Bitcoin in your tax-free savings account? Because that way you can buy Bitcoin and not pay any taxes on it. That's the whole idea of this video. Well, you can buy Bitcoin in your tax-free savings account if you buy the Bitcoin through an ETF. Now, there's 3 ETFs in Canada, and I'm going to give you the ticker symbols and everything you need to know in just one second. But let's talk about what happens when you do this. Well, the investor, that's you, opens up a tax-free savings account, an RRSP account, pretty much any account that you want, and then you go into the market and you buy the ETF. It's just a ticker. You can buy it just like any other stock. It's really easy to get in and out. You've already done it before. It's nothing new there. And that's actually the advantage of it, is you don't need a wallet. You don't need a separate software. You can do this through your bank, through your trading brokerage. You don't need anything new here. And so you go out and you buy the ETF. What happens then is that ETF goes out and buys Bitcoin with your money. And therefore, that ETF, the value of that ETF and what's in that ETF is directly correlated and related to the value of the Bitcoin that's in that ETF. And so when you go out and buy the ETF goes out and buys Bitcoin, and therefore you're pretty much holding Bitcoin, but now you can buy it in a tax-free savings account, in an RRSP account, in pretty much anything you want. Now, in Canada, there's 3 different ETFs that you can buy as of the time that I'm making this video. The first one that came out was BTCC, and that was an ETF that was put together by a company called Purpose Bitcoin ETF. This ETF has a 1% management fee per year. So they're going to take 1% basically as a management fee, and that's what you're going to be charged in order to use the services of their ETF. Now, the second ETF that came out under the ticker symbol EBIT. It was by a company called Evolve ETFs, and they charge a 0.75% management fee. And the last ETF that came out was BTCX, and that is hosted by Galaxy Bitcoin ETF, and they charge the lowest management fee, coming in at 0.4%. So there's 3 different options here. Before you go out and buy one, you should do a little bit of research. Make sure you understand the differences between them. But the management fee, the cheapest one is the Galaxy Bitcoin. The first one out there is the Purpose Bitcoin. And you can do all of your information by just Googling this. I'm also going to put the links to it in the description to this video if you want to go in and see the fact sheet and read all the information that you need. Everything will be in the links in the description to this video. Now, let's just talk about the advantages of doing it this way. Then we're going to talk about the risks, and then we'll wrap up the video. So advantages. Number 1 is that it can be bought in your tax-free savings account or your RRSP. That gives you completely tax-free Bitcoin gains the legal way, the right way to do it. You can report it. You can shine it in the government's face and show them how much money you made on Bitcoin, and it will be completely tax-free. The other advantage is that will be pretty much commission-free if you use Questrade or another broker that gives you commission-free trading on ETFs. Questrade is the platform that I use. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I use it on a daily basis for pretty much all of my trading and investing. And if you're interested, there's a link in the description down below for $50 in free commissions when you go out and buy stocks. It won't help you at all when you're buying ETFs because it's completely free. But if you buy stocks at all, it'll give you $50 in free commissions. And the other advantage of doing it this way is that buying it like an ETF means it can be traded just like a stock. You don't need a separate software. You don't need a crypto wallet. You don't need Coinbase. You don't need anything like that. You can do it the exact same way you would buying and selling a stock in the exact same software. So that's really, really nice. You don't need a wallet. There's no separate softwares. And this way, it's user friendly. You already know how to buy and sell a stock. If you don't, you need to just check out my channel, but it should be pretty easy. And then that way, it's just like a routine. You're just buying and selling, and it looks like a regular holding with the rest of your portfolio. So it's really easy to do the math as well. And come tax time, everything is ready to go for you because it's in a tax-free savings account. So you're not paying tax on it anyway. Now, there are some risks here. So number 1 is it cannot be bought or sold on weekends. As you know, the markets are closed. The stock market is closed, but Bitcoin does change and is available to trade on the weekends. And so if Bitcoin crashes on Saturday and Sunday, you won't be able to get out of it until Monday morning. And so that can be one risk of it. But if you're long term on this, you're not too worried about that. Now, secondly, it is not always a 1-to-1 ratio. Depending on the supply and demand that day, it may be a slightly different ratio of what you're buying compared to the Bitcoin that the company is buying. So you just need to be aware of that. It's pretty much always just going to even out over time, but it is something where if you're doing the math in your head right away, it might not make sense that day, especially if Bitcoin prices are moving very much. You do need to take into account management fees because they will take a little bit of money from you, but it does give you tax-free exposure if you do it this way. So realistically, it's not a big deal. You do need to know though that these are young ETFs. Most of them have been around for less than a couple of months. So this is definitely a new thing. None of them have 5-year historical returns. So you need to be well aware of that because you're just not going to find that information here. And lastly, you need to understand that you're getting direct exposure to Bitcoin. Bitcoin in itself is fairly volatile and fairly risky. So you need to be well aware of that you're getting direct exposure to Bitcoin. The upside as well as the downside, it can definitely go both ways. Now, if you're interested in learning more about these ETFs and how to understand a stock chart, then you should definitely consider signing up for my Stock Market Fundamentals course. It is completely free and it's hosted on Skillshare, where I have over 9 hours of content that will walk you through step by step how to build a strategy and find an entry and exit that works within that strategy to help you make money trading the markets. If you're interested in that, the link is down below. There's over 4,000 students that have gone through the course. There's 225 reviews for you to read through, and 82% of the people that reviewed the course said it exceeded their expectations. I can promise you it will be the best free resource that you can find online, and if you don't like it, cancel your subscription at any point. You get 2 weeks unlimited access to Skillshare, and then after that it's about $20 per month, but I can promise you it'll be the best $20 that you spend on any subscription. Now, the summary for this video, number one is that if you want exposure to crypto without worrying about taxes, whether or not you want to pay taxes and however you want to hold it, if you just don't want to break the law and just not claim it and prevent that issue from ever coming up in your life, then buying the ETF is a fantastic, easy, user-friendly, and great option for you, and it's completely tax-free if you do it through your TFSA. So I highly recommend it. That's how I'm going to be doing it, and I think it's a great option. If you're interested in learning more about this kind of thing, click that like and subscribe button. I sincerely appreciate it. Good luck trading, good luck investing, and we'll talk to you soon.